Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 46 of The Good, The Dan, The Florida Man. With you, as always, your hosts.
I'm Ryan, I'm the good.
I'm Daniel, I'm the Dan. Ben?
And I'm Ben. I'm the Florida Man. Thank you for joining us. If this is your first time listening to our podcast, we hope we say or do something this week to make you want to check us out again. We are three stand-up comedians that got shut down as the world did by COVID. We turned to the art, that's a loose term, of podcasting to kind of stay active and remain friends. So we are still stand-up comics. If you want to see us outside of the podcast, Ryan, where can they find you?
You can find me at youthpastorryan.com. It's going to have all my shows that are up there, so let's check those out. What about you, Dan?
Before I get into this, I just want to say that it's funny that you said that we do this podcast to remain friends. Like, this is like the only thing that's holding the friendships together. It's just like, we're just doing this podcast so we can stay friendly.
I really just let that cat out of the bag there, didn't I?
Wow, I didn't even know that. I was today years old when I learned that that's why Ben keeps me around.
That's loose, too.
I need to keep my friends around, so I made a podcast, and that's how I do it.
I thought you just kept me around because I was an easy target.
We find out Ben just has like 18 podcasts going all at once. If you want to find me, you can find me at Dan Bam Bam on all social media except for Snapchat, which is Dan_YOLO_love. Ben.
This was mostly just so we could plug our shows that we have coming up, not our social media. But
Well,
okay.
just love me.
This episode is coming out April 23rd, so I have some shows coming up in May. May 19th, I'll be in Fort Wayne, Indiana at the Summit City Comedy Club. May 20th and 21st, I'll be in Appleton, Wisconsin at the Skyline Comedy Club. And May 22nd, I'll be in Louisville, Kentucky at the Louisville Comedy Club. So come check me out there. Dan will probably come with me to most of those. On this podcast, we talk about a whole bunch of stuff. Story times, interviews. We do history episodes every so often. Today, we are doing an interview podcast with a guy a lot of you guys might know. He goes by Franchismo. Is that how you say that? Franchismo.
Oh, that's how I always say it.
That's how you say it?
That's how I say it, but I could be very
It's
wrong.
Franchismo.
It's Franchismo. Like,
why don't you just take this one then, Ryan?
Yeah, if you haven't seen him, you've probably seen him on a roof at some point. You've probably heard Sweet JP talking to him. Just wondering, why is that depression so strong in this one? Let's get it going for Franchismo and Sweet JP.
Yay!
Yeah, so it's Francis and Chippy Bree, or JP.
Hi, thanks for joining us, guys.
Are we unmuted?
Yes, you are.
First of all, we've already decided on the merch, the new merch for you guys. We can fit in perfectly. It's
the good, the Dan, the Florida Man, and the trash cans, and we can just
trash cans. Right, it rhymes, so it's perfect.
Yeah,
and it'll just be the two of us.
Yes.
Is that fine with you guys?
I liked the way you guys said my name better than me.
Yeah.
How do you say it?
It's Franchismo, and the funny story about it is it's just my email address. Like, it's really bad, and that's why there's a number 10 after it, which was just my jersey number from middle school. Because obviously, look at me, I didn't play professional.
What sport?
Huh?
Basketball.
Yeah, basketball. So my mother would call me Franchismo as a kid. So my email when I was in 4th grade was Franchismo10.
Because we all know that 4th graders need that email address.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so many emails coming
How is he
through.
going to sign up for MySpace?
Yeah, exactly.
Or honestly get that RuneScape login.
Yeah, the RuneScape login
yeah.
is key.
Yeah, I think it was for mini clips.
miniclips.com!
It was
Club Penguin.
Yeah, Club Penguin. Like, it was probably
Club
for
Penguin.
some stupid video game. Like, my email is a cesspool for viruses. I have 65,000 unread emails, and they're all just from the weirdest websites. Because every site I gave my email to gave it to somebody else.
Well, we found out yesterday that Ryan is into hentai, so I don't think you're alone there.
Fine. I wonder when this episode comes out in comparison to that episode.
2 weeks.
2 weeks after? Or
Yeah,
before?
2 weeks after.
Okay.
This is going to be chronological.
Yeah.
We love it.
So,
we love a continuing
again,
joke.
It's just my email of Franchismo10 because it takes the name, and at that point when it started like randomly blowing up, it was too late to change it, and it was just Franchismo. But fun fact, I almost got canceled over my name.
Did you?
Excuse me?
Tell me
Yeah,
more.
I didn't know this, but apparently
I don't know what
my
country it
DMs
is.
do it. But apparently there's a
I'll try to
Spanish
find it.
dictator who is Franchismo.
Franco. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
like, it
people
wasn't
were
Franchismo.
very upset
and
about
people
it.
really thought I named my account after it.
Oh my god.
But it was just a childhood
Spanish
nickname. Like as
dictator
if
during World
I
War
am
II.
the poster boy for Spanish dictators.
Francisco Franco. I think
I'm looking this up. Spanish.
I just love the fact that like they thought you were like a Stan account for a dictator.
I got like 4
Francisco
emails. I like
Franco.
4 separate
Yeah, I
DMs
was
about
right.
Yeah, it's Francisco Franco.
Yeah, so it's not even close.
It's not even
Like,
close.
they did not have a problem, but it was 4 different people, and it was like right in a week, and they were like,
Change
you need
your
to change
name.
your name now, like you're promoting this.
So I just pretended like I didn't see it.
But we did.
That's
We
always-
saw it.
it. I understand the problem.
I don't.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
there is no problem. You're Franchismo.
Franchismo, you're not even close.
It was just a childhood nickname.
If you really want to see something
Yo-
interesting, you should check out his Facebook, his childhood Facebook, because he wasn't allowed to have it, so he made it. It was Francis Barson, which is not his name, but video games, and it's up. You can check it out. So it's literally just a whole bunch of video game posts that like you could get like free benefits from the game if you hit accept. So it's completely hacked and rampant with ads.
But
and
somehow, if you look up my Facebook, that still comes up.
Oh,
So follow
my-
me on Francis Barson. That's
Barson. How do you spell that? Barson.
Barson. I was scared that my identity would have been stolen as a child.
which it would have
Which
with
it
what
would've.
he was doing on this.
So that was it. So yeah, it's Franchismo, but I like the way you guys say it, like Chisimo, and those are that sounds better.
Franchismo.
Franchismo.
Yeah, anything besides the Spanish dictator. I'd like to just affiliate right here.
I think I'm gonna
Formerly-
start calling you Francisco now.
Yeah, Francisco Franco.
I just like the idea of your mom being like, "What nickname can I give my child?" Aha, a dictator.
Of
Like,
course.
yeah.
She's like, "He is
Little do
terrible.
know,
I need
that's
to
what
like
my
let
mom
him know."
wanted, and my mother was the stand for.
She really
loves him.
brought it home.
She didn't find crime podcast yet, so she was really just doing all this work on her own. She's just like, oh wow,
Sound
this
Russian.
Spanish dictator from 1942 is really hot.
Look, he was
No,
pretty
it's
well
true.
dressed. Okay.
But yeah,
I
guys,
didn't
thank you
get a
guys so
whole
much
lot
for
of
having
words.
us. We're
happy
so
to be here.
excited. It's good to be a part of a professional podcast because I'm sick of doing podcasts with my brother.
Yeah, our podcast, I wouldn't describe it as professional.
No.
So
What, the
this
No
is a
Point
nice treat.
Podcast? We love the No Point Podcast.
I never know the stories coming in. So like, because JP says I do worse when I know the story.
It's
He
true.
likes to surprise me. Which is hard
What
criticism
is your
to hear.
podcast? You wouldn't describe it as professional. How would you describe it?
Well, usually
It's-
we'll find mistakes in it because of the audience. So apparently, just a mistake we made last week, just to pull one out, we had the podcast running while the intro music played. So a good
Oh.
45 seconds of the podcast was covered
Is
by...
that really what
the-
you did? You
yeah,
didn't
100%.
even tell me.
I did not tell you. I just pretended that I did. But I got a comment, and they were like, hey, you definitely were speaking at one point, but your song was
It's right.
playing.
The first 45 seconds after the song isn't bad. I would describe our podcast as 2 kids that were sent to the principal's office, and we're trying to tell on the other one more.
Yeah, that's a good
It's who
description.
can snitch the fastest to make the other guy
Try
seem
look
like
better.
a problem.
Yeah.
But
it's a real
that's what
problem.
siblings are for, honestly.
Yeah.
Like when our family gets together, we all try to see who can like bring out the worst kind of trauma within each other. We're like, remember that time that you beat? I don't know. Just there's things. I was about to go into a
Yeah,
full story
I
by
got a little
myself, but I
startled.
was like, let's keep it down. Let's keep it down.
I was about like, Dan, do we have to unpack this?
Yeah, Dan.
It's time to
this
do
moment?
therapy with Daniel. Yeah. But I love the sibling rivalry. It's amazing.
Yeah,
on the
it's a
podcast.
Brings me a
real
lot of
problem.
joy.
I
I-
would say you're probably the favorite
No.
out of us two.
No, it
Out of us
depends.
two?
It depends on the story. We've both done some pretty bad things that is like inexcusable.
What's the
Like,
worst
I
thing?
wouldn't say
Francis
inexcusable.
swam-
Sounds like
yeah,
we
well,
murdered
yeah,
somebody.
yeah,
Francis
seriously,
swam
makes
in the Veterans Memorial in Washington D.C. as a 4-year-old.
No, it was not 4.
How
I wish
old
it
were
was
you?
4. 13. It was like 13, 14.
So like you can't listen to that podcast, him tell that story, and then try to defend him.
Yeah, I
So
can.
like it's just you know.
Yeah, but that just sounds like a fun exercise for me.
yeah,
He didn't know it was a memorial. He thought it was a pool.
there was a homeless guy doing it first,
Yeah. And you know,
which apparently is not a valid reason.
I mean, you young you saw someone doing it, thought it must have been okay. And honestly, I'm just more grossed out about what that water must have been filled with.
Oh yeah,
Like-
the police really picked favorites though. He was really taking it out on me. The other guy, he was doing the backstroke and he was fine. No one wanted to
knew
touch
him.
him, just me.
Yeah, that was Gary, the guy that does that.
Yeah.
Oh,
my gosh, guys, we're so
I
excited.
love that so much. So I've got some questions for you guys. Like, first
Oh,
off,
absolutely.
Have you always told jokes, or like where did the joke telling start? Because you guys have a very specific thing that you do. Because if you,
I think first we gotta, for people that don't know who you are.
Oh, we're getting to the roof.
Well, I feel like we have to start by.
We can start with the roof. Where did the style come from?
Not even that. Who are you? Why are you here?
Nah, they caught us in the second question. We found a Zoom link, and it was just one of those things. Yeah.
For those of you listening to the podcast right now and you don't know who Francis and JP are, this is Francis and JP. They are famous, semi-famous. I don't know. I don't like to count myself.
I like
as
to
famous.
say we're governors of a state because I like to compare that to the same type of fame. It's only important to the people who it's important to.
Yeah.
But everybody else could literally punch you and they would not care. Like
that's fair.
I do love that comparison.
it
that is very true.
I like
you guys are you're
Ryan.
verified on TikTok, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
2.9 million followers, I think it is.
Yeah, great. Ryan knows
Yeah,
our
Ryan,
stats.
thanks, buddy.
And then I think
Ryan, we gotta keep you around.
Yeah, absolutely. I think nearing 500K on Instagram or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have 400K on Instagram.
So how would you describe your content to people who have never seen it?
So that's always tough. I like to describe it the same way people do when they see us out in public. And they're like, hey, roof boy. Right? And that's really it because they're just as shameful as us about it. You know, like they don't, because if they're wrong, they're just admitting that they watch a guy in a roof. You know, like they can't, they're just as scared.
My question is, do you
if they're
toy with
wrong.
people in that situation? You're like, no. What?
Like a lot of the times they just mime the blanket. They just mime it putting like a hood over their head. And they're like, this mean anything to you?
He never thinks it's for the right reason. We were just in Missouri with Ryan, and there was
So
a guy
funny.
at Best Buy, and he stopped Francis, and he goes, "Oh, are you the guy? I know you from somewhere. I know you from somewhere." And Francis is trying to help him out. He's like, "Maybe you know me from like I used to work at Best Buy,
In
or
Warwick.
have you ever been to Rhode Island?" And he's like, "No, TikTok." And Francis is like, "Oh, I didn't even think of that."
Like that
Like,
did not.
I do the
cross
same
my
thing.
mind.
I do the same thing where I'm just like, I don't know. I walk sometimes. Maybe you've seen me.
The most
Well,
embarrassing.
it's one of those things that, like, it feels a little bit like Superman. As in, I have all superpowers. No, I'm kidding. No, it feels like Superman. It's like, because, like, as a kid, you're like, there's no way glasses is enough of a disguise for somebody not to know who you are.
Yeah.
But for some reason, blanket and crouching on a roof is enough. Sometimes. Like, that's enough. Because they never see you standing up. So no matter what height is wrong for what they've been imagining.
You'd think, but last time I went to like Disney Springs in Orlando, Florida, I wore just a plain black mask with a plain black ball cap on. And I don't stand up in my videos. Nobody knows how tall or short I am, whatever. And I went walking at Disney Springs and like 5 people recognized me just from like this strip of eye that they saw, I guess.
We were at Disney and that happened. One of the vendors, I was wearing a mask. I had glasses on because I'm blind as a bat. I don't wear them, which I saw on TikTok and they were like, "That's the most toxic people in the world are people that need glasses but don't wear them." It's true. I would like that's 100% true.
You just gaslighting yourself, I guess.
Yeah, no, my driving test for eyes, I guessed, and the woman said close enough. So. So, she encouraged this.
I don't think that's a thing you can be close enough on.
Close enough.
It was a V. He said W. We were no need to negotiate.
No negotiation. So
if you say it in Spanish, it's literally just double V. It's uve doble.
Yeah, so it's crazy how some people can see it and then other people's don't. But
So to answer the question,
yes.
to describe our content, I would say it's... There's no good way to do this.
So I'm a guy on a roof who's just sad and angry. You know, like, I really, like, people say, like, is that you? Like, obviously, it's not to a certain extent. Like, I don't get to live on my roof every day. But there was a time at the first start where I was like, I have to commit to the bit. Like, there has to be some type of realism with this that I am fine with staying on the roof for my entire life. Like, in general, don't let me inside. We'll live stream me there 24/7. It'll be great. That eventually had to change because of New England.
The way that you described it, you were a sad, angry guy on a roof. I feel like it could also be a good description of like Batman.
Or a jumper, man on a ledge.
Oh, a
like,
jumper? Yeah. So we have
went to
3 descriptions. One of them's Batman. One of them's a guy who's about to kill himself, and the other one is you.
So you said the same one 3 times.
I've never seen them in the same room at the same time.
That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. I did theater basically my whole life, and then I majored in theater because I'm an idiot, and I hate money. Apparently,
It's not even
my
real,
mother.
so you're
My
fine.
mother did that terrible thing as a child where she said, "Follow your dreams," and that was a big mistake. Disaster mistake. But I majored in theater, and I did a competition where I was sent to New England's like drama festival, and it's like this competition for actors, and you have to do like a scene and a bit, and there's this. I don't know if you guys know what Studio C is.
Yeah.
Okay, Studio C. Love Studio C. They were kind of like my dream of like what I wanted to be is like a Studio C type actor. And they have this awesome bit where it's this girl and she is just sad and angry and she has a blanket. And I did the scene in the competition. And
As
I won.
the girl.
I won. Humble brag. I won best comedic actor in New England. Which means nothing.
Are people funny in New England? I thought they were just
No.
angry all the time.
No, I was going against New Yorkers, so it was pretty easy.
Yeah.
Just
a bunch of
angrier people.
Yeah, they just swore
Yeah.
and said vote me, so
Yeah,
all I had to beat was them.
You went out there as a sad, angry girl in a blanket, and they went out there and they were like, to walk here or to not walk here? That is the fucking question. And you're
That
like,
was
oh
it.
no, I got this in the bag. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it was that character, and I would do that character just around school, and I knew it was good. Like, and I kind of just would like take on like that's because sometimes and I say it like I sometimes feel like my favorite jokes are just like on minor inconveniences. I'm like, well, this is it, time to end it all. You know, like there's no hope. Like just of
Some
the
people
vending
would call
machine.
that a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Like the vending machine won't give me back my change or doesn't drop the chips. And like instead of just like punching the vending machine, I'm just praying the vending machine falls. Like honestly, I'm just like, make my day. You know what I mean? But that's just my sense of humor. I love it. And I realize that sometimes it's only funny online. You know?
It's
Like, when
only
you do it
funny
in
to the right audience. That's what it is.
100%.
But like that's just who I am. Like I just love that. And I think because a lot of people take life too serious, and it's that famous quote of like if you don't make a joke out of what's going on in the world will make a joke out of you. You know?
You said that was
And
a
that-
famous saying, and I've never heard that in my life.
Well,
You've never heard
it was humble brag. I made
It was.
up.
Yeah.
Humble brag. I'm a scholar. Buy my book. Selling only in Target.
Look at me,
The
I'm a
person who
philosopher.
said the
Why?
person who said it was the Spanish dictator Francisco.
Franchismo.
Francisco
Imagine someone will
Franco.
Google that.
He said it in
My
Spanish.
mom told
translated.
me that. She was of one of her favorite quotes. But like that was like the thing, and it's just like I think we take it and like we let those things bottle up. And you know what? Sometimes it's okay to complain. Because like that's all I want to do. And I'm the same way just in life. Like JP is I would say a road rage driver.
Oh, I have.
And
road
I
rage.
only say this because he honks his horn.
That's
Which
the
is
only reason.
baffling to me as a
Yeah.
human being. I've never honked my horn
I
in
don't
my entire
either.
lifetime.
I give it the double tap, the nice one. Like if someone it like doesn't see the light turn green, I'll give it that ding, and then
No,
I'll wave, and then they'll go.
I was in a car with JP, and a guy backed up. Like we're at a red light, and the guy is just backing up, like
Yeah.
and hits our car. And JP goes, "I'm gonna honk," and I go, "Oh no, don't do that." I think they figured it out. I think they know.
How hard
Like,
did
but-
they hit you?
Well, it was not too hard, but like it was damaged. Like
Yeah,
we
we
had
had-
to, it had insurance. I think we told Ryan this story. They wanted to back up because they missed the turn for Burger
Yeah.
King. So
Yep.
they started backing up into our car, and
my
it
God.
crashed into our car. And they were like, we came out, and the cop came, and they're like, "What's the problem?" He was like, "You see, Burger King was
We
over there."
described the problem to the cop. We were like, we're at the red light. They're in the lane 2 over. They just keep backing up, like at least 25 feet, because there's a line of cars,
Yeah.
and they're in another lane. They have to back up past 5 cars and then turn into us. And when we're describing the story, the cop did not believe us.
Yeah, they thought
and
we
then
were
went
lying.
over there, and then all of a sudden the kid's like, "Yeah, we wanted to go to Burger King."
Oh.
Did we lose him?
Oh no.
Oh, now we'll never know the end of that story. Did the cop eventually believe them?
Did Burger King ever get received?
Well,
We're gonna have to fix this. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
We'll be right back.
This is my technical difficulty music sound.
Have you guys ever been in a car accident?
Yeah.
yeah, a couple times. Not a real one.
Excuse me.
Not like a.
Yeah, you
I wouldn't say.
fully elaborate on that.
Yeah, I just have never been. I've never been in a car crash, like car on car. It's always been like I backed up into a tree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that type of stuff.
I've been in a car accident, but never a bad one. My little brother was in a car accident where the car flipped over, burst into flames, and then like exploded. But like he got out. So yeah, that was.
And is he grateful for life now?
Yeah, he's actually a super grateful dude. It's yeah, good for him. No, he actually is
maybe
really
that's what
happy.
I need to like care about life. I need like a near-death experience.
okay.
I feel like.
Yeah. I just got the text from them that they are coming back. Yeah, here's the thing though. I
It'd
think
be really funny if they were like, "Guys, we don't want to come back. Thanks, though."
we're done. Thanks.
That was really fun.
I've been in 2 car accidents in my life.
Yeah.
The first one, I was driving. It was a 1992 Honda Accord, and I was driving down just like it was like a highway in Florida, but it was like a back road highway,
Okay.
and it was 2-lane, one each way, and there was a ditch on the right side, so I couldn't like swerve to the right, and there were cars coming on the left, so I couldn't swerve to the left, and there were 3 cars in front of me, but they were all going about. We were all going about 70, and the 3 cars in front of me were all riding each other. I mean, like feet,
inches. Yeah.
Yeah, if not inches, like feet, if not inches from each other, and they all slammed on the brakes at the same time. None of them hit each other, and I was like a decent ways back, and I slammed on the brakes, but my car was from 1992,
So brakes were optional.
brakes didn't work too good, and the car in front of me never moved forward. Like he just didn't actually let off the brake. So even after he had space to move forward, he just continued to sit in the middle of this highway, and I just like skidded and like tapped.
Oh.
And I got out. I was like, "Hey man, sorry. There's no damage. Are we good?" And then the guy in the passenger seat got out and was like, "What is wrong with you? You shouldn't be driving." And I was like, I'm actually just gonna get my car and leave." And he was like, "No, there's damage." I'm like, "There's not. So you're fine."
You're fine. You're good.
I probably would have stayed and talked to you if you weren't just immediately angry at me for
Immediately
a thing.
hostile.
Yeah, if you got out and you're like, "Hey, are you okay?" I would have been like, "Yeah, let's talk about what happens."
Yeah.
But you got out and you shouldn't be driving. I actually don't think you should be living. So
Yeah.
I just remembered that I have been in car. I don't know but it's not a crash.
You're
It's
back.
what you described.
Hello. We're back. Wait, sorry. We
don't know what happened.
Yeah, I think it was the vending machine. It heard my story about asking it to fall on me, so it decided to fall on my PC.
No, that's fair. That happens to the best of us.
I
We
feel
don't
like
do
there's a vending
technology.
machine character in regular show that is like vindictive like that, and that's all I'm picturing right now. It's just a living vending machine constantly. going after me.
Exact. It's tormenting my life.
So did the cop end up believing you?
So the cop ended up believing us, and then we had a whole. It was again, our podcast is strictly based on like we only have content because the weirdest things happen to us. Like
you
it
guys
makes
wanna
no
tell
sense.
The St. Louis squeegee guy story?
Oh my
Or
god!
is that something
That was last week's podcast. We haven't even talked about. Did we talk about this on our podcast? But what happened? What ended up happening is the cops like it doesn't seem like too much damage. It probably won't be much. And the parents of the kids that were driving came and they were like, "Hey, we don't want to really go through insurance. It's a few scratches. Like we'd rather give cash, right?
yeah.
And like just go to get it kind of like just appraised, and we'll pay you the cash." So I'm like as a college kid, I'm like, score! It's a few scratches. Whatever they appraise, I'll just end up keeping the money.
Yeah.
You know? I was like, this is great, you know, because I've heard about this scam. It's awesome. I got it appraised, and they were like, you have to get a whole new door. So they were like,
What?
it's like $3,000. And I was like, a whole new door for these scratches? In no way, if I get $3,000, am I putting it to a door? Because
Was
it's
the
just a few
door
scratches.
still functioning?
Yeah, the door is still
It was
functioning.
literally, Ben, just a scratch.
It was scratches, but they were like, it's $3,000 and you're gonna need a new door because they said it damaged something, so it could like come unhinged eventually. But I was like, bro, I don't care.
You were
Put
like,
duct
I've
tape
heard
as
of
my
this
door."
scam too. So
Yeah. I was like, I'll wear a seatbelt. Jeeps don't have doors. Why does my Honda need one? Why does my 1995 Honda need one? So I was like, whatever. So I text the guy and I was like, hey, it's like actually like $3,000. And they must have thought I was lying because they were like, no way is it $3,000. And they were like, can you bring it to a different car guy?
yeah.
Our car guy. And we brought it to their car guy, and they said $5,000. Even better. I was like, they must have broke our engine, and they're not telling us. Because at this point, you're asking me to buy a new car. Like, that's what you're at.
Yeah,
So-
it was totaled in a single scratch.
Exactly. So they're like, that's even worse. So they were like, okay, well, what we're gonna do is, because we don't necessarily, we're gonna go back to your guy, the $3,000 guy.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't they? And I'm like, oh, now you like my appraiser. Now you like him. Oh, okay. I was like, but 5 minutes, I had to drive 25 minutes down to Providence for your appraisal. And for a Rhode Islander, that's impossible.
Yeah,
Driving
15 minutes
25
is a full day trip
15.
for Rhode
No,
Island.
it's bad. That's why I sit on a roof, because I don't want to drive anywhere. And
What do you want me to
So-
do? Pack a lunch? Come on.
exactly, bro.
That's like a real
we
problem.
will pack a lunch for 15-minute drives. It's a real thing. But so like they're like there, and they go, we will pay the car place
on a payment.
on a payment plan ever like $500. And then I was like, whoa. At this point, if I bring it to this car, I don't get my car back until the payment plan's complete.
Yeah, the
And
car
there's no
dealership.
sense that you're going to necessarily pay this back, because once you're gone, you're gone.
Yeah.
So I was like, we got to go through insurance. So we eventually ended up going through insurance, and like, they were like, you're gonna regret this. Like I was so scared, and all from a scratch. And like my mother's like, you just gotta keep going through it, and it took so long. And it was literally a scratch on the door, but it was like a $3,000 thing that ended up being for this. So it was, I always say it's the most expensive Burger King order of all time that those kids just did.
So you eventually went through insurance?
Oh yeah, it
How-
was like it became
Because
like a
the
month
car
thing.
dealership, we went to the car dealership, and we were like, they want to pay it on a payment plan, and the car dealership goes, if they're doing this, they go, we're keeping the car for as long as it takes them to pay the $3,000. And we're like, well, that's not going to
And
work
the
for us.
issue
Yeah.
was when we I don't even know how we got on this tangent, but
I
the
love it.
issue was when we went to call. So I went to call the police because I was like, okay, now I need to get the police report to give to insurance.
Yeah.
The cop never filled out the police report because he thought it was going to be handled outside, because he said it was a minor scratch.
Yeah.
And when I said, and he's like, I was like, but it's $3,000 now. And he goes, what? He goes, give me $50 and I'll fix it. Which I don't know. If I got an appraiser, they should have sent me this guy for the appraiser. Because that's what the other family wanted. So he's just making up a police report. Like, he's like, what day was it around? I'm like, do you want the specific day or just a day it was around? And he's like,
I honestly didn't think that you would have the specific day. If that helped, if you have the specific time too. Absolutely.
know.
If you just want to come down to the precinct
If you
and
could
fill
have
this
done
out
my
for
job for me, that would be great.
Yeah.
as
He
a
was like,
policeman.
he goes, and what happened again? And I was like, they backed up. He goes, oh, the Burger King people. The Burger King people. And I was like, yeah. So it took like, it took like a month and a half to like get everything settled out. It was the worst. But like, it's just those
To answer the question,
inconveniences.
we would describe our content as Batman.
Batman. Yeah, to come around. But yeah, it's all just one-liners and jokes, and just like the things that you wouldn't consider. It's just some guy who's just complaining, and people find it very relatable because a lot of the times we all want to complain, and a lot of people don't want to come out and say those things because they're concerned that, like, you know, people will think they're whining or anything. I don't care. I don't care. Things are
You're a
going wrong,
Spanish
and I want to whine
dictator.
about
Why
it.
would you care what people think about it?
I really do. It's one of those things. It was like, either I'm gonna whine here or I could be a stand-up comedian, and I'm just not funny in long term. You know, like that's the thing.
You guys just don't have an hour
like
for
my
it.
mom always said, I was good in small doses. So like Vine would have been perfect. They should shorten me.
You could just absolutely just look up Anthony Jeselnik or Mitch Hedberg or Stephen Wright. Same kind of like the quick one-liner, dry stuff. They've made hours and hours out of it.
That's just it. It's all about like working to like find something that is just completely normal and somehow get to whine, complain, or make it sad. Like that's kind of, and I love doing it. Like and my brain is now wired like this, that it does this just thing. It's just like we were just talking, me and JP, and I was like, promise if I'm ever dying, you'll put me out of my misery. And he goes, fine, whatever. And then like just 2 minutes later, I go, isn't it crazy how we're all like currently dying right now? He's like, no, and I'm like, just think about it. Like
Slowly.
Slowly but
yeah,
surely.
exactly.
Slowly but surely.
But
Your
surely,
lungs, your
exactly.
lungs are being oxidized, you know, so that's killing you.
It's the only inevitability in life other than taxes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you can die
Like-
before you tax. It's something.
I like to like the most
taxing.
like coolest thing is like talking to an old person. Oh man. Talking to
told
an
a
old
joke
person
and he
who's
was
like
really
at
proud
like
of it.
you know, just at the end, like they don't care. That's what I strive to be right now. You know, like if
Just
they're like
early on,
you know
don't
what?
care.
Exactly. They're the coolest people ever. Like, you ever talk to an old person? They're like, they talk about death and like with such ease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're like, I'm ready. Like
That's my favorite genre. My favorite genre of video is old women being like, I just want to die. Like, that's whenever they ask like 98-year-old women, they're like, what would you like for your birthday? And they're like, death.
I'm
like, yes.
Wow. Like I punched a Nazi. You know, like they don't care anymore.
The kiss
Like-
of a Death Eater.
So it's one of those things because I think a lot of us we're like you know, time and like it's crazy the thing of like, and I've just always been like this. It's like a lot of people are like we feel like this whole thing that we got to get everything done because we're scared of death. That's gonna come so soon. You know, it's like it's gonna come. Like just like make it. You gotta just enjoy. And like you can't be scared of it. Like it's one of those things. It's kind of like going to the bathroom, right? It's like everybody does it. We can't. Not you. I mean, not Kim Jong-un. But,
Right.
Of course not
It's
him.
besides him, everybody else. So it's one of those things. It's like we're all gonna die. Like we're so scared of everything. Like if you're even talking about it. Like and minor inconveniences. Like you know those bottle up on people. I just want like and I'll get like every one of my videos or every comment or DMs. Like I'll get those messages that are like you know like I get to live with you or like they say, you know, I think my life's bad, and then I get to watch one of your videos, and then I realize it gets worse, and I'm like, great, like that's it, like just know other people are suffering, like we have like, I think there's a lot of creators, and like it's always that thing of like finding your niche, and I think we have so many creators that are like that show off their content, and you're like their life is perfect, you know, and like behind the scenes they're going through things just like everybody else. You
I'm
know?
trying to think
So like.
of who I know, like personally, that makes their content look like their life is perfect. And
Just like most Instagram people, you know what I mean?
I
I
don't
would say
follow-
most hype house, you know, kind of
like
genre.
typical influence.
yeah, I don't see any of those. Those never show up on my.
Really?
my-
I don't know how to get off of it. I think they're just trying to cheer me up. They're like, look, kid, other people are killing it.
Or they're just trying to depress you further.
Yeah,
Just to be like, it's going
TikTok's
better
like,
for
clearly
others.
this is successful for us. We're just gonna keep making this kid depressed.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, but it's one of those things. It's like my life is not that bad. But like, I'll find it. Like, I like to think of like the thing of like, I'll go into a class and I it's a test and I don't have a pencil. Like that's what it is constantly. It's just one of those things that you're like, you know, I'm gonna be the TikToker for the people that don't want to have to pretend. You know what? They're a little bit angry. I feel like Pinterest sometimes. You know, like just old mothers.
It's just
Like-
going through life with a constant feeling that someone in the class just said, "Hey, teacher, you forgot to collect the homework," and you did not collect, and you did not do the homework.
Exactly. Great example. Like you've nailed it. Like that's and it's very weird to describe. And again, the person who asked me this in the mall, they don't want to hear all this, but I'm 45 minutes. I have a PowerPoint I'm trying to explain to him.
You got a little projector that you got plugged into the Victoria's Secret outlet. You're showing all the men that are waiting for their girlfriends to come out, and they're like, "We get this. We understand."
This track's heavy.
Hey, look, so it's one-liners, it's jokes. It's a guy who sits on the roof because he hates humans so much. Like it's the only safe place. Like it's Anakin when he said, Obi-Wan, where he goes, "I have the high ground." I'm just taking the high ground all the time. But it started with the character that I was doing, and I knew how to do him pretty well, and I knew the script that got me. So all I needed to do was add different jokes there, keep the same character, and the character called for me in the actual thing. Like I was balancing on a chair in the actual like production.
Yeah.
So I needed a weird spot. So I'm telling JP this idea because technically roof videos were not what I went viral for at first. It was monologues that I would do, and I would just write monologues for like that was just one of my hobbies. Like
what kind
3 or
of
4
monologues?
of them went viral.
So just like rants, like it was like
It was rants about minor inconvenience.
it was sort of the same thing. So like one, I was like, look, buddy, tuition's due tomorrow. I'm texting Becky to rob a bank right now. And I written out the ransom. I asked for a helicopter, not because I know how to ride a helicopter, but because I thought it'd be something fun to do, me and you. Like so it was like one about math class, and it's like I was put in my college class like introduction to math, and I was like I don't need introduction to math. We've been introduced. We don't like each other. And I don't. So it was just monologue stuff, and then I was like, I needed something else, and I needed that thing because I couldn't just keep writing monologues. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just post my script of like the thing and do it. And I tried to find a random location, and JP's laying on his bed, and I'm just on a high. I'm like, JP, I got this idea. We got to do it. And I was like, but we got to find somewhere where to film. And he's like, I don't know. And I just look over, and there's our window with the roof. And I go, I'm going on the roof. And JP's like, this is the worst idea you've ever come up with. And I was like, you're darn right it is.
Absolutely.
So I'm climbing out the window, and like all of a sudden, and I'm just screaming my lines out in the neighborhood. Fun fact, I've gotten noise complaints, obviously.
What? No.
Yeah,
Kid on roof screaming into the ether has gotten noise complaints?
Well, originally they stopped because we had a series with a cop. Well, it wasn't a real cop. It was one of my friends, and he was just like a police. Like we had him dressed up as a police, and he was like, "You got to come down." And apparently, like the neighbors saw this bit and was like, "Oh, thank God, somebody called the police." So they're out here thinking it's all real. Like I'm loving it. Like, so like they went up, but like. For a while, we were banned in our house from going onto the roof because she was like, "What are you doing? Like, get off!"
Well, that first time when he told me, he goes, "We gotta get on the roof. We gotta go on the roof. I gotta do this." And he had like 5 videos consecutive go like semi-viral, like 100,000, 500,000 views, and it's like a momentum thing. And he's like, "All right, let me get on the roof." And he crawls out the roof, out the window. He gets on the roof, and while we're filming it, our grandmother starts walking up the stairs. And I go, "Oh crap, we're dead." And I stopped recording right away, and she came up and she screamed at us because we're on the roof. Like we did not talk about anybody. Like we didn't talk this through.
Yeah.
And Francis was like, "Please, just let me finish this one video." And she was like, "Fine, finish this video, then come inside." And you're not. And then he posted the
that
video.
night.
And he was like, "I'll never get on the roof again. I'll never go on the roof again."
I'll never.
He posted the one video, and that video got like, I think it was 1 million views. It was our first video with 1 million views.
Yeah.
And the next day he was like, "I don't know how to tell them, but I need to get back on the roof."
I was like, so like we just like sneak out the window, and then like eventually they finally caved because of how many views they were getting. Like our family was like, fine, if this appeases him, like if he stops complaining, yeah. But it was like so sanctioned at first. Like we had to have a ladder. Like we had to have somebody out there watching us to make sure we wouldn't fall off the roof. Well, like it was a real production.
It was honestly, if you go back on our page and you look at like the posts, like when we first started, it was like 1 video a month that we were posting because we just couldn't get on the roof. And then we tried to switch back to normal monologue and other comedy skits, and all the comments would be like, roof. Roof. And it's one of those things. It's like people get like caught. Well, we actually went to an Instagram, a TikTok like creator video thing, which I don't know if you guys have ever went to them, but they're not
They're not what you think. I thought it was an honor, but it was more of just other people talking, and you sat with your camera off and your microphone off, and you listened to them talk.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, so it wasn't what I thought, but as a young creator, I was like, yeah, but like I was like bigger, if not as big as like the speakers. So like it was and like all they kept saying was, "Don't find a niche, like get out of it immediately." And I was like, they're gonna hate my content. Like, they're gonna hate it. But like, it was one of those things. It's like I'm very lucky that I enjoy the character. I enjoy the jokes that I get to make. Like that's just who I am. And I'm not saying all of them are hits. Like obviously, I some bad ones. Like there's some days that I'm gonna lick a feather that I found on the ground, and then I'm gonna gurgle, and that's what the video's gonna be today.
And it's there. And it is there.
It's up. It exists. You can find
that's a real video.
My future employer or my prison warden will be able to find that one day.
Listen, no drafts 2022. That's what I've been saying. Lick a feather, post it. Who cares? Stick it in your hat. Call it macaroni. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's one of those things. So like that's kind of how it started. So that's. I hope that. That was one question.
What would be your second question?
Honestly, that was the best answer I think we've ever had to one question.
Yeah.
Like, that was...
I also feel like you answered more than one.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. No, I feel like. There's like, you're gonna be scared to ask a second question because then we're on a 3-hour show.
There's a reason why our podcast is called No Point, because stuff like this just happens. That one question is asked, and then 45 minutes later, we forgot what the question was.
That's ADHD. Yeah. Welcome.
Welcome to the party. You're in good company. I do have to ask, Francis, how scary was it when you tried to get on my roof?
Oh my gosh! So we had this
at the apartment.
No.
Oh my gosh!
At home
in Missouri house.
Great idea, right? Like we were.
So we were like, we're gonna put him on the roof and it's gonna go great. But the problem is, just to put this into perspective, our roof is like his roof. I've been up on it, pretty shallow.
Yeah.
Like not super slanted. Ours, very slanted. We're talking like 45 degrees or more.
Oh.
And it is a 18-foot drop into like rocks.
Concrete.
Yeah.
That's fine. You won't die.
No,
I felt like I would.
Yeah, it'll be one of those drops where you'd be like, I wish this was worse.
4 feet more.
I wish this
You
was
definitely
worse.
have to go through insurance for that one, I think.
Yeah.
That would be...
Ben, you could write my videos at this point. That was great. That was great.
I mean,
but yeah, that was... So we were like, great idea. We'll have Ryan on the roof. I'm on the roof. Instant good video.
Sure.
Perfect. And Ryan's like talking it up. Ryan is no help in this because Ryan has seen his roof and he's the best roof. You were like, we have a roof, buddy. We have tons of roofs. We have all the roofs you could
Did
possibly
Ryan
want.
play a prank on someone?
I mean, it didn't.
Well, no.
start out that
Ryan
way.
was full sending.
I did full send. I got out on the roof and then I started sliding down.
Oh.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, here's what happened. So I'm afraid of heights, just in general.
Yeah, that's why you do your content on the roof, because those
Exactly, completely normal. Because I want to get out of my comfort zone. So that's really where I'm going.
That's where the despair comes from.
Exactly. So I'm actually scared of heights, but my roof isn't that bad. Like I know if I fall,
survive.
I will survive. 100%. There's no rocks.
Sure.
It's grass, and I've never fallen since. So it's kind of like I'm fine. I'm comfortable up there.
Sure.
Ryan's roof is like a straight diagonal. Like it is not allowed. Like it's not legal. And it again, it's above rock. So I'm like, so Ryan's like showing me the roof, and he's like, look. And I'm like, oh no. I'm panicked. But this poor dude changed his plans to be here an extra day so he can film this video. I've written scripts, and he's written scripts based on this roof. So I'm like, I can't back out. And JP, he doesn't have to get on the roof, so he's like, hurry up!
I'm gonna be honest, from my point of view, I was looking at the roof and I was like, we are about to have a news story, and it's gonna be 2 TikTokers fall off roof and die because it was a slip and slide.
So I go on the roof first, and I'm like holding on to the windowsill. Like, I am just, for dear life, that is how I'm holding up. And Ryan's like, can you push over a little bit, so I can get on? And I go, Ryan, it's not possible. I'm wearing Vans, so these are skateboard shoes made for, like, this kind of thing.
Gripping.
And, my feet are slipping. And Ryan's like, I think I got this. So I go back inside. I'm like, I can't do this, Ryan. Because I tried it. Like, I'm outside. And Ryan's like, I think his legs are just shaking. Like, Ryan shakes. But, like, this was a shake.
Yeah, this was a more shake.
So this wasn't just the tremor shake. This was
This was a mix of
This was like he's going to die. Yeah. So what we did was, so he eventually, so he's like, I think we got it. And, like, Ryan, one of his foot just slipped. And we all, like, I think John grabbed him quick. And he was like, Ryan, and like pulling Ryan back into the house. Yeah, luckily John's there, because if your life depended on my pool noodle arms grabbing you, I would have just waved. I think that would have been more effective. I would have made the sign of the cross with my arms. That was the best I could have done with my arms.
When we eventually found a shack to film the video on near Ryan's house, we couldn't even get onto the shack's roof. So luckily John was there, because John physically lifted us onto the roof. So just to put in perspective how strong John is.
Yeah. It was. We had to go to a park roof to even film these videos.
And it was a public bathroom, and people were using the bathroom, and Ryan and Francis are on the roof of this bathroom.
We're just screaming about, like, I'm pretty sure we're screaming about a cat shelter break.
And somebody just walking out of the bathroom is like looking up, and we're like, yeah, we're official park ranger business up here.
The joke that I had was, God, what was? Oh, it's raining cats and dogs. In other news, explosion at a local animal shelter. So that was the line, and I was just like, and there's literally people peeing underneath us. Like, what is happening?
Yeah. It's one of the issues, or one of the only, like, I would say, downsides of our content, in my opinion, is it travels hard. It doesn't. Yeah. It's not an easy travel.
If you visited kind of thing. My original home in Daytona Beach, Florida, it's a very old house. It was built in like the 20s or the 30s. The roof is just asbestos.
I would love a skit. I've always thought of like the skit where we were like, look, we're gonna bag a mattress and I'm just gonna jump off the roof. Like, I'm gonna fall. Like, that's gonna be a video.
There you go.
And then there was like other videos where I would love to have like the roof cave in. Like, there's so many big ideas that I'm like I'd love to do this, but it's just not gonna work. But like, again, like Ryan and your content and Dan's and all your contents, like, you guys can portably put that in anywhere, kind of thing. If you have a camera,
I would have a much more difficult time doing that.
I just wear
I mean, you
sunglasses
have a
and
lot of
hat.
costumes.
Yeah.
Costumes, yeah.
Ryan is easy. Ryan just needs to be near a Disneyland and have a flannel,
Yeah,
and
I
Ryan's
do.
done.
I bring the flannel. I sit in a car. I can rent the car. It doesn't matter. Like, it's,
Like, I wish my content was more
Francis
portable.
has gotten better at it. He originally was, after like the first few years, like the first year of it, Francis was like, I can never be seen off the roof. I can never be seen without the blanket. Yeah. And since then, Francis has got better at understanding, and the fans have got better at understanding that Francis can go other places
as long
as he has the blanket, and it's an odd enough place.
It has to be an odd enough location.
Sure.
Still. But, like, otherwise, I'd never be able to collab with anybody. Like, I'd never be able to do anything.
So, like, Ryan's house is always fine, because it's like, why is Francis at Ryan's house? And it makes you wonder that same question. Or, like, when we went to Disney or Universal, it's fine, because it's like, of course, the one place he'd leave to go to is Disney.
Yeah,
so
the
it became
happiest
less
place
of,
on earth.
Exactly. So it became less of the roof being my home, as in more of the place I go where I don't have to deal with anybody.
oh, I love that.
Okay.
Which is kind of the thing. But yes, I hope that answers the Ryan almost killed me question.
Yeah, no. I think.
Ryan almost dies in a lot of situations, so it's interesting to hear somebody
Ryan
else
was
almost dying because of him.
Ryan was trying to wean out the... Oh, sorry, Ryan.
No, I was just gonna say I was looking to bring someone with me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna go. Come on.
Now, Ryan was just trying to wean out the TikToker competition, but I don't know why you went with me. Like, you could have went higher, buddy.
No,
Take out one of
should've
the videos.
Yeah, no, I knew to start with a roof. You know, like, how much higher can you get?
I can make this one look like an accident.
I could.
It's true.
Other than that, I got a question. JP, have you ever gotten on the roof for a video?
Yes. So I have been on the roof several times, which is what I was just about to say. There's only been total 4 people ever to be on that roof. Me, Francis, our sister Kat, and Ryan.
That's honored.
That's the complete. That's the complete list. But so we know that any video I am in does extremely well on the roof, because all the comments are, oh, finally we get to see the guy behind the camera, because I'm always behind the camera. But we always say, they're like, oh, finally you did this. But I am very accessible and seen. Like, I am on every single Twitch live stream every day. I am on a podcast, and they're like, oh, why were you hiding him? And I'm like, I am not hiding. We are just too lazy to edit the camera switch. Like, it is just easier if the camera's on one person.
Yeah.
Usually when we hit a big subscriber or follower milestone, so at our 100th video, our 1,000,000th video, our 2 millionth video,
Our millionth video. So we're believing in spam posting. We believe if you get 5 times a day,
post 5 times a day. 1,000,000 followers, 2 million followers, few videos that it's just a funny joke that I need to be on the roof. I'll be on the roof with him. So I have been on the roof, and I'm not hiding. Despite what everyone always assumes, or they assume me and Francis
are the same person.
Ryan thought that Francis is just dubbing his voice as my character.
I did think that at first.
But
and then I met Sweet Chippy, and I was like, oh, there he is. There's there's the human. I got a question. Do you guys have a plan for your 3 million video? Is JP getting back on the roof? Because you guys are close.
So. Planning in us doesn't go well.
Fair.
Planning is not something that I would say we excel at.
Me neither.
So we will probably post something.
Well, I remember how sad we posted our thank you for 2 million at like 2.5 million. Like, I don't know if that shows you our planning. But we were late.
We were really good at our 1 million. Ryan was in our congratulations on 1 million because that was like, all right, let's plan it, let's get it done. That was the early stages when we had like, let's just plan this. But now we have the podcast, Twitch streaming this, that. Then it's like, all right, we need to sit down and plan things, and we have not planned 3 million.
Yeah, we haven't done it. Because again, I don't think we could ever top our 1 million.
Which was Ryan, John, Shatsky.
Yeah. Dylan Francis even got involved.
Dylan Francis was in it, yeah.
I don't know.
Wait, what?
Dylan Francis, the DJ?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Wait, what?
Super.
You know Dylan Francis?
Well, because we had a whole bit where Shatsy, shout out Shatsy for doing the greatest job. She did the joke where she goes, "Congratulations, Dylan Francis, for hitting 1 million followers on TikTok," and she's like, "Wait, you mean?" Because Dylan Francis did not have 1 million followers on TikTok.
Sure.
And she's like, wait, you mean this other guy named Francis did? You mean he's bigger? So it was like a big thing, and then Dylan Francis like responded
because
and did like a stitch with it, not a stitch with it?
No, he did something with it because at the time, if you searched for Francis, our Francis would come up first.
Yeah.
Then Dylan Francis.
Oh
and Dylan
my
Francis, who is a multi-platinum recording artist.
Okay.
Was like, hey, yeah, this is a little bit odd too.
Yeah.
But
He said, do you know the song Get Low? It plays at the club when it's about time to leave.
Yeah.
I do know Get Low.
Yeah,
That's
so
Dylan
Get
Francis.
Low, that's him.
Oh.
So he
Sure.
did it. So like it was one of those things where I was like, wow. So our 1 million was really good, and that was really planned. 2 million seemed to have flew by. Kind of thing, so we weren't kind of ready. Like I mean, you guys probably know as well. I mean, TikTok is hills and valleys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
You know?
cyclical.
When you're on top, like it feels like your videos can't miss.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you're just posting and they're consistently doing. And then all of a sudden, no matter what, like even if it's one of what you would consider one of your best videos, it's gonna do only at a certain extent.
Yep.
You know? So like we flew, in our opinion, through like we hit 2 million, and within the next week we're at 2.5, and then the next week we're at like 2.9, and 2.9 is now taking a while.
It's like 2 million to 2.9 was
1.2 we
insane.
were stuck at for like 3 months, and then we flew to 2 million. So like it's very inconsistent.
We had a 14-day period that every single video hit 1 million views, and during that 14-day period, you're like, oh yeah, I can post anything, and that's gonna get 1 million views. And then the next 14 days is like it's not even getting 100,000.
You're like, is McDonald's hiring now, or is that a recommendation? How much experience do I need for McDonald's right now? How many years of Excel do I need?
That happened where 5 videos, like it was literally 2 days ago, where 5 videos in a row, like 5 days previously, every single video that I posted hit over 1 million. And then the next day, I think my top video, and I posted 2, was 53,000. I was like, I'm going to go taste paint now because my life is sad.
We'll do the same thing. What happened, I don't know if you guys have ever tried it, but reposting is also one of the oddest things, just to show you how weird the algorithm is.
Yeah.
We've posted videos that will have 100K views, and then we repost them, they'll get like tens of millions. And then we've had videos that have had 10 million views, and then when we repost it, it's like 100K. Like, it feels like no matter what the video is, it almost comes down to time of like what that week is, if it's your week to go viral.
I tell people all the time, no matter how good you are or how hard you work or any of that, there's still a luck factor there.
Absolutely. 100%. Find what you do, find what you love, and then just hope.
Just last week, it's one of those moments that you're like, oh, it's all over. We posted a video, and it was one that we collabed with Ryan, and we checked it out like 4 hours later, and it had 70 total views. And we were like, okay, well, something's got to be off, or everybody hates us now, and we're done. But we deleted it, we reposted it. We did
another post, and then it got like 200, 300,000.
And we were like, all right, but just when we posted it that second, whatever happened, 5 hours later, 70 total views.
Wow.
We've posted videos that, like, all of a sudden we'll post a video and then it gets community guidelined.
Yeah.
And obviously it's not anything because we pride ourselves. I would say we try to be PG. We don't swear in our videos.
Yeah.
It's just how we like it. It's what we do. And honestly, as a child, I was always complaining that, like, because I loved stand-up and I loved watching comedians.
Yeah.
But, like, it was so hard to find one that didn't swear. And my mother is a very devout Catholic. So I couldn't show her any of these super funny things. So I always said, I want to make comedy that you can show your family.
Mind you, you can't show your family.
Show your family
content, but not for swearing.
Not for swearing. It's because the therapy bills are too much. And so like we like to keep it PG. So like we post. I lost my train of thought. Where was I
watched
going?
it happen.
I was about to cut you off anyway because we are coming up on the end of this episode.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't apologize. This was fun.
I
enjoyed
it. You guys got to get to where you got to get to.
Yeah,
go.
you have a thing that you have to go to soon.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're fine.
I feel there was 50 questions. We answered 3, and fine. I'll just give you my social. Hopefully, that's enough.
I was just gonna say real
write this
quick.
down.
Do you have any big projects or anything that you guys are working on right now that you're excited about that you want people to know?
Absolutely. It's a macaroni necklace.
Okay.
Right now. It's for my mother. It's for Mother's Day.
When is Mother's Day, Francis?
Huh?
When is Mother's Day?
Mother's Day is around the May-March area.
Good job. Good job. I'm really proud of you. Okay, second question. Where can people find you outside of this podcast?
Sure. Inside the podcast.
Sure.
Yeah. No.
Great place
to
start.
On all social medias, or not all, I would say TikTok, Instagram, Franchismo 10, and on YouTube, Twitch, Broski Studios. So that's
and then our podcast is no point on every
Broski Studios on all streaming platforms. If you want to hear more chaos, but I would suggest with a more, all the people that have heard this podcast right now are probably so confused by how much we talk. They're probably like, you know what? I'm gonna stick with this podcast.
I think you'll be a little less surprised. But thank you guys so much for coming on here. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Absolutely.
No,
it was a lot of fun. I'm sorry. We really did talk your ear off, though.
No, it was wonderful.
It's just hard. It's like none of our answers or none of the things we do, and it's
nothing as an easy answer.
It's nothing an easy answer.
Welcome to life.
Yeah, right.
It's never it.
All right, we're gonna say bye, guys. We're gonna sign off here as well. Appreciate you, Francis and JP.
Bye, guys. Boys.
We'll see you again.
Later. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, that's it. That's all. Thank you guys so much for listening to yet another episode of The Good, the Dan, the Florida Man. We hope we said or did something this episode that makes you want to tune in next week. If you want to find us outside of the podcast, I know we literally just covered this at the beginning instead of talking about our shows, but Ryan, where can they find you?
YouthPastorRyan.com. Dan, what about you? Is it Dan Bam Bam on all social media except for Snapchat? Which would be Dan_YOLO Love?
It is that exactly thing. Thank
Wow.
you, Ryan. And Ben, is it also benbrainerd.com?
Yeah.
Is the website that they are visiting for you?
Yeah.
And if they're curious how to spell it, they use their brain, and if they don't know how to use that, that would be bad, so they should try using theirs.
They should use that.
Yes.
Absolutely. We need to find new ways to end this podcast. Anyway, if you want to find the podcast, you can go to gdfmpodcast.com. We have a whole long list of all of our social media links and other things that are on there as well. Make sure you check out our Patreon where you can support us financially if you'd like to. You also get access to voting on the stuff that we talk about during these episodes. So if you want to have a say in what stories we tell or what history we talk about, check out the Patreon. We appreciate that, and we will see you next week. Bye!